So this is on the street where the hotel is here in Cairo. And this dog that's on the top of the car, literally every day he's on a different car. Every day. And today he brought one of his friends, apparently. I'm gonna go and get some lunch. What are y'all doing? Are you in the shade on the car? Well. Yes, yes. You are? Okay.
Here is the Khartoush's name is the king. Unas, Rabbit U, Nile is. Unas is the king. Here, Nilo, Horus, Scarabée, Snake, Pigs, Hand, Iris, T. Up here, Stars. Star for sky is blue. Here, alabaster. Look. It's alabaster stone from Aswan. Look, limestone. Another side here, see.
This is the car. This is the car. See how big it is? Yeah. So we go ahead.
In Memphis. Ramses II. We're at the Giza Plateau. This is the Great Pyramid. I just went inside. It is very cool. And look, there's some dogs up there. So this is how it looks. A lot of people, but not as many as I expected. So, these are the Great Pyramids.
Well, it doesn't have a nose, right?
They're at the Great Pyramids and the Sphinx. So cool. Hey everybody, Hannah from Destined for Adventure here. Today I want to talk to you about, is it safe to travel to Egypt as a female? And in case you're wondering, I did travel there as a solo female for several weeks, and I'm actually going back next month. So the short answer, yes, it is safe to travel to Egypt as a solo female. Of course, keep in mind, we want to be taking precautions like we would anywhere in the world, because just like anywhere in the world, bad things can happen from time to time, but overall, yes, it is safe. If you're going to go to touristy sites and see the Great Pyramids and maybe go to Luxor, maybe go around Cairo, yes, it is safe. Now that being said, there is a lot of street harassment in terms of people trying to sell you things. And this is throughout Egypt, whether you're male or female. So just something you want to mentally brace yourself for. I've experienced this in other countries, but I would say it's probably not been more intense than in Egypt. It's all the time. It's everywhere. People are going to try to sell you stuff. A taxi ride, a carriage ride, come in my shop, just look at this thing. I'll give you a tour. Come on my boat. I will drive you to this place. Get a souvenir. Give me some money. Literally anything and everything. Someone will try to get your attention. So if you're not used to that, the strategy that I use is I usually simply ignore them. If that doesn't work, I don't make eye contact, I don't turn in the direction, I don't acknowledge any questions. I know that this can be rude, but at the same time, when you're traveling somewhere for quite some time and you're getting that kind of interactions, it can be very overwhelming and can really affect your experience. So, you kind of got to do what you need to for your peace of mind. Now, one thing you can do that will help a lot with that is having a local tour guide. So whether that's booking a tour through your hotel or otherwise booking a tour, if you have a local with you, you're probably not going to get those same type of interactions. And the second type of street harassment that I experienced, depending on the area, sometimes a lot, sometimes a little, was a lot of catcalling. And this, keep in mind, when I was in Egypt, I brought the traditional galabeya, the long dress with the long sleeves, and I also covered my hair. I know that I stand out a lot, no matter what I do, so you do not have to cover your hair, you do not have to dress in traditional clothing, but it is a good idea to be respectful and to dress conservatively, to cover your shoulders and your thighs, whether you're male or female. I did this to just draw less attention to myself, knowing that I was going to be traveling by myself. And even despite that, I still got catcalled and hit on and complimented an incessant number of times. Even when I had a male friend visiting me, walking next to me, it still happened. Or they would also tell him, "You're such a lucky man." A few minutes later, "You're a lucky man," and that sort of thing. Again, I just ignore, don't engage, keep walking. It is what it is. A lot of the times when this happened in Cairo, I couldn't understand what they were saying, so I just ignored them. I never felt unsafe. Not in any of the situations where someone was trying to sell me something, not in any of the situations where someone was making comments about my appearance. This is something that you might experience around the world. I've experienced in Latin America and other places. Probably not quite to the extent of in Egypt, although I will say in El Salvador, it was worse. It was worse than Egypt. So it's certainly not a pleasant part of the experience, but if you mentally prepare yourself, I'll be honest, I thought it was going to be way worse than that. So just take that as a part of the experience, mentally prepare yourself for that reality. I will say that I met many lovely Egyptians. Many lovely people who didn't want anything. They were just kind or nice. I met a lot of people that I would ask them for help or directions and they would help me for no reason. Just a lot of really lovely, kind, warm people. So, some people are making their living by interacting with tourists in this way. That's not everyone. That's not everywhere. I will say it happens a lot, but it's not everywhere. So just mentally prepare yourself for that. And yeah, that's just the reality. But in terms of safety, I felt very safe. I never felt that someone was going to attack me or do something, physical against my will or going to rob me. I felt, even with like taxi drivers and And when I was in very crowded places, like at the pyramids, everything was fine. So just mentally prepare yourself and you'll be able to have a nice trip. There's still so much incredible things to see in Egypt and so much history. And I'm not even normally a history person, but gosh, if there's ever a place to get into history, it's Egypt. So I would definitely encourage you to go. In the next video, I'm going to show more of what I did in Cairo and kind of some of the budget breakdown. It's actually quite affordable. The flight is the most expensive part to get over there. In this video, you're going to be able to see the Great Pyramids, which were incredible, massive. You can actually go inside one, which was wild. I didn't expect it was going to be so steep and like so hot. All the way up inside the pyramid, but it's so cool. I mean, just incredible to see what's been built. And I hired a local guide and I went to Saqqara, which is a very interesting historical site with some really cool tombs. You can learn more about Saqqara from a documentary on Netflix about, I think it's called The Treasures of Saqqara. And also went to Memphis, which is an open air museum, saw a huge statue of one of the Pharaoh's Ramses, and just some really, really cool stuff. So I had a great time. I was really glad that I hired a local Egyptologist through my hotel because she was incredibly knowledgeable and brought me up to speed on the culture, the history, the things that we were seeing. Really made me appreciate the trips that I took when I was there, and just it was really great. You can actually find her information in the next video if you want to connect with her. She does tours all over Egypt, and she's a very good English speaker and a small business owner, so I highly recommend that you work with her. Miriam, I'll put her information below as well. Without further ado, go and check out the adventures I had in Cairo and be sure to subscribe.